Okay, this section we're going to go over kind of the standard, we're going to start out with kind of a standard framework of a practice, and then we're going to go over just the framework of a practice and some variations of it. And we're going to get, some of this stuff gets into peaking, and a whole peaking, that's a whole different course, but some of these things that I'm going to talk about, and I'll point them out, are really important when it comes to peaking wrestlers for the end of the year. So the videos below, we're going to go over just a standard template, standard framework of just your typical practice. I'm going to go through each section, all right? And I change this template up once in a while, but this is what I always start off with, and it works well for me. It allows me to work in all the tools that I need to develop, and then we'll go in another video down there. Below is there's some different types of practice. So you have your standard practice that you can do a lot of things with it, but then you typically have a different practice for day before matches. You don't go quite as hard, so I'm going to go over maybe how that goes, and then we also go over one where I work in strength training. There's a lot of different ways you can do strength training, but as a high school coach and a middle school coach, I think it's important to integrate strength training into your practices throughout the year, just so that everybody's getting something in. Now, some of them will get up in the morning before school and maybe do something in the evening, the really dedicated ones, but you want to make sure, if you can get every one of your wrestlers doing some form of strength training, and I'm not going to go into like what we did, but because that's another course as well, but there's another practice template that shows you how we do that, and then we also, in the video below, go into how much time we spend on the different portions of practice. How much time do we spend on talking and drilling and technique and live wrestling, and then how that changes throughout the year, and that's part of peaking. Your practices are probably not going to be the same at the beginning of the year as they are in the middle of the year, and definitely not the same as the end of the year. They're going to be laid out a little bit different, and these are things that I learned wrestling under Coach Gable, and took to the high school ranks. And if you know how to peak and how to structure your practices to evolve and lead to crescendo at the end of the year, you're going to have a huge advantage over a lot of people. So make sure you watch the videos below, and just realize this is one way. You don't have to, if you have a practice template that you've been working off of for years, you might pick something up here and insert it, but don't go, if you're having success with it, don't think you have to change the whole thing. I think the components that I insert into practice are important for development, and we're going to go into that a little bit more as we continue through the course. If you're missing a component of my practices in yours, you might want to think of it, if you don't drill at all, then you probably want to work drilling in. If you don't work technique at all, which I'm sure nobody out there is doing that, well, then you're going to want to work technique. If you don't ever condition, well, you're going to want to condition. So don't think you have to use the exact template. You can, and it's worked really, really well for me. But if you've got something that works for you, you maybe just tweak it a little bit. Or maybe say, hey, mine's dead on, so I'm good to go. So make sure you watch the videos below. We're going to go into the framework of the practice, the actual practice plan, and how to change things up a little bit for different variations as well.